Great day, it's your boy Swan Belcher. I got my guy Anthony with me, and today I just wanted to go through and have an interview with him, talk about how we met, the reasons why he might have signed up for. I forget what you signed up for. Signed up for a few things as far as training goes, what his business looks like, and some kind of struggles that he's had, and some successes that he's had throughout his journey. So, appreciate you coming through.
Yeah, thank you for having
Actually,
me.
been trying to get you on for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe a month.
Yeah.
But introduce yourself, brother.
What's going on, y'all? I'm Anthony Curtis, real estate investor, originally from Waldorf, Maryland, down in Winston-Salem. We're really the triad. Looking to do more
You in
deals.
Winston-Salem? I thought you was in Greensboro.
What? I moved to Winston.
Okay.
That's why when we changed the address, I'm like, perfect.
Okay, yeah, that's what's up. Did you move into that subject to deal or something?
I moved into the condo that we bought, the
Okay.
townhouse that we bought.
Okay.
And then after you worked on it, flipped it, I'm like, I like the city, so might as well stay here.
Okay, super dope. That's what's up. So tell us how you got introduced to the business.
Okay, so I was at A&T in college. Might have been my second or third year, and I watched the Breakfast Club interview. Mark Whitten.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
You know, that's usually, it seemed like a lot of people seen Mark Whitten. That's how I got introduced. But seen the interview, and I was like, man, you know what? I can do that. You know, so man, I took his course that he had, learned a little bit, and then took action.
Nice. That's what's up. So after you took his course, how long did it take you to get your first deal?
My first official deal or just a transaction? Because, the reason I asked is because I joined the triad meeting.
Okay.
And, I was
the RIA?
Yeah.
Okay.
The RIA, and I was able to network with people at the RIA, and I got a referral. You know, so at the time, the referral fee that I got was the biggest check I ever received. So,
let's talk about that real quick. So, what do you mean a referral fee?
Okay, so it was a lady that had a house that she was trying to sell. I didn't have no buyers at the time, but I got the address, started reaching out to people, and I was able to connect her with a buyer.
Yeah.
Now this was my first deal, so it didn't go how it should have went. But at the time, struggling college student, I was okay with anything.
Okay, so you were doing the marketing.
Yep.
You contacted the seller. Mm-hmm. You got the seller, committed to a price.
Yeah. So it was actually flipped. So I met someone at the RIA meeting. She had a property under contract. She needed a buyer.
She needed a buyer.
So
okay.
I was able to find a buyer for her.
Nice.
And that's how I got paid.
Okay, that's what's up. Okay, cool. I like this. Okay. So where'd you find your buyer from? Because at this time you said you just got started and you really didn't have a lot of buyers. Yeah. So how did you find this one?
Believe it or not, it was from another RIA meeting.
Okay.
So at the time they had like the cash flow game, the Robert Kiyosaki game.
Yeah.
So I met the person that had the contract at that place, and then it was a RIA meeting that I met the buyer at. I just connected the dots.
Okay, that's what's up. Now how does this look? So do you just say, hey, A to B person, here's the buyer's information, call them and set this up? Or do you enter into like a JV agreement, or you shake hands, or what happens?
So the proper way to do it, or the way I did it?
The way you did it, because I want to be super transparent. I don't like talking in theory. I like what actually happened.
Right. So this was my first real estate deal ever.
Yeah.
Right. So how we did it at the time was, hey, I'm gonna just send some people over to the house while you're there. If it closed, just get me on the back end. so I guess it was a verbal agreement. Now, how we should have done it was signed a JV agreement.
Yeah.
Agreed on whatever percentage we do, whether it's 50-50, 70-30, whatever you agree to, and then went about it that way.
Okay, let's break it down a little bit more. So she had the property under contract for how much? Do you know?
I don't know the exact.
Okay, cool. That's fine.
So
I just want to be clear.
mistake, right?
I just want to be clear.
Yeah.
So you didn't know how much it was under contract for.
Right.
Do you know how much your buyer purchased it for?
Nope.
Okay, so do you know how much she made in a fee?
I want to say like 30,000.
She made like 30,000. How much did she pay you?
1,000.
1,000. Okay. Was it a she?
Yep.
Okay. Now, was it Julie?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Julie is a great connector.
Yeah.
And anytime I go to the RIA, just like Julie's on it. Okay.
But this was my first deal ever.
I just like to be transparent because most people, when they're looking at the videos, they think everything is perfect.
Yeah.
But we're really talking from a place we just experienced this and we just learned from it. You know what I mean? So people think it has to be perfect when they do it, but it really don't. Yeah. Like it's okay to fuck up, but just get through it. So that way you get through it.
Yeah.
So the first one you made $1,000 on.
$1,000. Yeah.
All right.
But biggest check ever.
Yeah.
At the time for me.
Yeah, because you was at A&T, senior year, junior year.
I want to say junior.
Junior year? Oh, that's big.
Sophomore, junior.
Yeah, that's big. That's big. That's big in college.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, that's life changing. Okay, so once you get the first check, what do you do then?
Yeah. So I guess we can go into my first deal after that.
Yeah.
So that just came from just networking, right? That $1,000. But when I took the course, he talked about absentee owners and direct mail.
Yeah.
So I was going to the county. I would pick a street and then I would just go through every single address to see which property address didn't match the mailing address.
Okay.
And, that's how we find
Absentees. Yeah.
Now, it probably was an easier way to do it, but I would go by each street in Greensboro.
Yeah.
And each house at a time. So.
And you did it like online or?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We started sending out direct mail.
Well, hold on. What did direct? It's just cause I want to be super transparent. What did direct mail look like for you? Was that like a handwritten note and you licked it yourself and put a stamp on it, or what?
Somewhat, yeah. So I was typing them up.
Yeah.
I would put like multiple, letters on each page, so it might be like 3 addresses on one page.
Yeah.
I was cutting them myself, putting them in the envelope, stuffing them, putting the labels on there.
Nice. Nice.
The groundwork. I mean,
yeah, I like it.
So,
your mouth get dry from licking it so much.
All that.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah. So a lady responded.
Yeah.
She said, "Hey, I got your letter. We are looking to sell." So I ended up going over to the house. Now at the time, I'm still in college. I don't have no car or nothing like that. So I'm using my roommates to get around and all that. You know what you gotta do.
So your roommate dropped you off?
Yeah, most likely.
That's pretty humbling.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty humbling.
At the time, it was the bus, Uber, if I could, or a roommate, or a bike.
Right.
Whatever we had to do. I ended up going to the house. I threw a random number at them. They accepted it. Now, I think I was using Zillow at the time to run my comps.
Yeah.
I was just going off stuff I learned from the course I took and just took action.
Okay, I like that. Yeah. See, most people ask me like, hey, do I need a car? And I was like, yo, like, if you got to ask the question, you probably don't need it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need a car.
Yeah,
it makes it easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
It gives you more confidence, but at the same time, because you don't, does that mean that you're not going to?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. Yeah. I'm a firm believer in like you have everything that you need to get started and do what you want to do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So at the time, I had to work with what I had.
Right. Exactly. Now, did you end up doing that deal, the whole process yourself, or did you still get people involved at that time too?
So I got it on the contract myself, and that's actually how I met
Kaish.
No, Jamel.
Okay,
yeah, that was my first time meeting Jamel. This was years ago. He tried to bully me on the deal, but that's a different story, man. But I had it on the contract, and it was some people I met from the Rehab meeting. Terry Cuffey, Miles Cuffey.
Yeah.
And she was one of my first mentors too. It's Terry Cuffey. But I met him there. She said, "Okay, we'll come out to the house." They came out and they brought Jamel with them.
Yeah.
And Jamel, he in New York.
Right. He'll be
like,
right.
He like, "Hey man, look, man, sell it to me for this." And I'm like, "Nah, that ain't gonna work."
Right.
So he from New York, I'm from Maryland, so it was a little
right. It's a clash.
Yeah,
it's a clash of personalities.
Yeah, but anyways, it ended up not working out, and he didn't buy it. But I ended up finding another buyer. I believe they came from the Rehab meeting as well.
Okay.
So go to your Rehab meetings.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But yeah, so we got the house on the contract, found a buyer after some months.
After some months?
Yeah, probably about 2 months.
About 2 months? Mm-hmm. And so how do you keep the seller good?
Well, I had a long contract.
How long?
So at the time, I did 60 days.
60 days. Okay, nice. That's what's up.
Or this was 3-4 years ago. So we could have just kept extending it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, no. I'm just trying to highlight all of the details. Okay, because this is the kind of like real life scenarios.
Yeah.
Because like on YouTube, we say we close in 14 days. Mm-hmm. So people, they get afraid and say, well, what happens if I don't close in 14 days?
Right.
You get the extension.
Yeah.
Right. You have the hard conversation with the seller.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what those like kind of conversations sounded like? Or like what it made you feel like trying to have those conversations?
Well, in the beginning, you only know what you know, right? So it's like you don't know that it's a big deal to not be able to close or have to get the extension. You just going. At the time I'm just moving. Right. So I really didn't realize like how scary it could be for people that had to go and renegotiate and all that. I was just like, hey, this what need to get done.
Nice.
We gotta get the
Nice.
extension, or we gotta get the price drop. That's just what it is. And
Now, hold on. What about the closing attorney? So you get the contract for the front, you get the contract for the back. Okay. What about the closing attorney? Because this is your first deal that you're actually doing yourself.
Yeah.
So like, who you going to?
So I guess you already know where I met him at.
The Rehab.
Rehab meeting.
Okay, nice.
That's Preston Nelson, man. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So somewhat funny story. I still wasn't driving at the time. So I found the. Well, let's go back a little bit.
Yeah.
So with that first $1,000, I used that to open up my business bank account.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had to put money into a business bank account to open it up. I needed like $100.
Yeah.
I didn't have it. So just hustling and trying to make it happen. So what happened was I went back home to Maryland.
Yeah.
Me and my uncles, we sell ice cream downtown sometimes.
Yeah.
So I went to my mother. I'm like, Ma, I need about $300.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this money, go buy some ice cream, and then go downtown and flip it. So I ended up making like $600. I gave my mother back $350.
Nice.
Yeah. So I knew the $1,000 was coming, so I'm like, I'm gonna pay you back regardless.
Yeah.
But it was just, I don't know. It felt good to me to be able to put the pieces together and use what I got to make money to open up the business.
That's for sure.
But anyways, back to the closing, right? So still didn't have no car at the time. So I had to catch the bus to the closing, which I'm cool with because at the time I made like $2,500 on my first deal.
Nice.
So yeah, biggest check at first was $1,000, then we made $2,500. But anyways, I'm on the bus. I think I passed the, you got to pull the string for the bus to stop. I passed the bus stop, so they like, yeah, man, you're gonna have to walk. But when I say that was the easiest walk I ever took, I'm like, I'm about to go pick up a check for $2,500, man. So yeah, that's how I got my first deal.
Well, that's dope. That's dope. Nelson is cool. He's actually a really big part of what I do too.
Yeah.
I'll rock with him. His fees got a little expensive, just because he wasn't looking to be a closing attorney anymore. He was trying to get more in the investment side of things. Okay. But did you have any kind of like hurdles? Because I know you're in college, so you're kind of just in like this, forgive me, this like naive aspect of things, and you're just kind of walking, which is dope. But did you have any like kind of fears of like, hey, this isn't gonna work out, or this might not work at all, or no?
I was, like you say, I was naive. So,
I love it.
So
I love it.
Watching the like getting the training and all that.
Yeah.
They said do this, and this is what's gonna happen.
Right.
So in my mind, it's once I do this, that's what's gonna happen. So yeah, I wasn't too nervous.
I love that. That's honestly what I look for in a good acquisitions.
Yeah.
I kind of look for the. I don't like for them to have too much education. That's what made Caleb really good. It was because he didn't have any expectation other than what I told him. So whatever, so if you can find somebody that can work for you on your team that doesn't have any clout of judgment already, they tend to perform way better than somebody who's already aware of the business. Yeah. Just because they don't know.
Yeah.
That's like a clue to hiring, because I remember you wanted me to talk more about hiring. And I'll be listening.
Okay.
So at what point do you say, are you gonna like, did you quit? Did you ever finish school?
No.
Why not?
Man, I was doing real estate.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
So I say I went to school for a few things, man. To network, get an education, and find out what I wanted to do with my life.
Yes, sir.
I feel like I hit all three of those.
All right. So how soon after you got your first deal did you quit?
I did a few deals. So that the person that I bought the first deal with, right after that, I met a lady through the rec matter that had like 4 houses.
Yeah.
And we ended up doing all those for her. So then, the money started to stack up a little bit. I had enough money to buy a car and all that.
Yeah.
So once I was like, okay, I got some money. I know what I'm gonna do the rest of my life, which is real estate.
Yeah.
And then I got the okay from my parents.
Oh, did you really go ask them? And I'm being that transparent about it.
Yeah. So,
you went to like what did that look like? Because I know, honestly, in the generation that we're in, I felt compelled to go to college because of my parents.
Okay.
Because I really wanted to go to the Air Force.
Oh, okay.
You know, but parents put the whole we want you to be first generation to graduate in the family. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Your auntie on this side of the family, she's doing very well. We want you to follow her footsteps, that kind of thing. Yeah. So instead of doing what I wanted to do, I actually went to college mainly because of my parents. And when it came to me making the decision for myself that I didn't want to be in college anymore, like instead of me telling them, I kind of just stayed away from the conversation and just ignored it as long as possible.
Okay. Did you finished or
no?
Oh, I never.
No, I made $100 grand in the car business. I left. Yeah. So I just ignored the conversation as much as I could. Yeah.
Okay. For me, it was similar as far as like, when you went to school, it's like, I want to make my parents proud and all that. So the first thing I had to do was realize whose opinion mattered to me. Yeah. I love my whole family, but auntie and all that don't matter. It's mom and dad. For me. Yeah. Once they say, hey, look, this your life, do what you want to do, you know what I mean? And I got the support, and I knew that they had me regardless of what decision I made, they was going to support me. That's all I needed.
Okay. That's dope that they even had your support. Yeah, because that's big. Bro, that was such a hard thing to conquer mentally for me, because my dad was adamant, that it was a dumb decision to not finish college. Yeah. I didn't finish. I still have 14 credits left. Okay. Yeah, but I just don't see a need to go back. I mean, that was just like, I got what I needed out of college. Yeah. What I needed at the time was to find more of myself and to become independent enough to feel like I could make decisions on my own and feel confident about those decisions. Yeah. That's it. That's what I needed out of A&T.
No, for sure. Yeah. And I always say, like, once I made that decision, that's when I truly started to live my life. Because it's like, you making decisions based on how you feel and what you want to do. Yeah. So I tell everybody, that was the best decision I ever made. That's
what's up. So let's talk a little bit about some subject to deals. Okay. So that's kind of the gray area where everybody's like, well, I don't know. And typically their first subject to or their second subject to deal, they'll sell them because they don't feel comfortable with the process versus taking them down themselves. That's just typically what everybody does. I don't know why. Okay. So at what point did you start, instead of just making cash offers, at what point do you say, hey, I'm going to make creative offers as well?
It came with the education. Yeah. So, as I learned more about the business and I realized what you could do and how to do more deals, it was a no-brainer. Okay. Because you can offer higher prices with subject to, you can get more creative, and that separates you from the competition.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, all day long. Yeah, that's actually, it's one of my ways of, I don't want to, like you were saying, Jamel tried to bully the conversation. That's one of my ways of, because you can either be a hard negotiator, like that, just use them like bully aggressive tactics, or you can like negotiate smart and savvy. Like earlier today when we were talking about Gregory, it's like, I hope you get what you want. I really do. But if you don't, come back to me. Let's make some money together. Because in a lot of situations, I and other people will get a deal that we can't make sense out of until somebody comes along and makes sense out of it for us. So your first like subject to deal that you got a seller to agree to. Let's say that. Yeah. Okay. What did the seller say about this? Like, how did that conversation go? And then, how did you overcome anything that they had to say about it? Because I know it's weird. Yeah, it's weird, and nobody can understand it, and most people think it's illegal, and you can't do that. But like, how did that go?
So that one was, I guess that was like a lay down sale, really, because the seller came to me. She's like, I do not want this property anymore. Yeah. It was, I think she had bought it to be a rental property. It was too much for her. Yeah. She like, I just want to be out the deal. So right then, I got the motivation. Yeah. And it's like, how can I best help this lady? Yeah. So then it's like a cash offer wouldn't work because she had the mortgage on it. Yeah. So how can I best help, this seller? And I knew you was heavy on creative deals and
Yeah.
financing. So before I even got it under contract, I think I just called you.
You did. You did. You did. You didn't have it on the contract yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's one thing I stress too. I'm not trying to take anybody's deal. Like there's enough money for everybody.
Yeah.
It's like literally. And I remember that because it was definitely a trust thing because the way Brian Elam does the closings with subject to, he don't allow you to assign them. You know, and that makes people nervous.
Yeah.
Because essentially it cuts you out of the deal.
Yeah.
You know, and that makes everybody nervous. Let's talk. I want you to talk about how we set that deal up. Okay. I want you to talk about how we set that deal up. Because did I even talk to the seller at all?
Eventually, I think you did.
Yeah. Because so you got the deal and she agreed that she was open. Right, or did she even agree that she was open to allowing you to take over the payments?
She was like, "Whatever you gotta do."
Whatever. Okay, she was whatever you gotta do.
Just help me. That's what she was saying.
Okay, and then so that's when you call me. And so what did you learn through it? I want you to tell the story. I don't want to tell it.
What did I learn?
Yeah, because what was the first thing that we needed? You remember?
You would need the balance and all the mortgage information, the monthly payments.
Was the seller cool with giving that information up?
Yeah, she was pretty open.
Okay, cool. So once we got the mortgage statement, I think you had sent it to my email. I had looked at it and I was like, okay, cool, this is gonna work out. Okay. And did the seller give you any pushback at all?
Not for that one. But I'm curious though. You said when you seen it, you said this is gonna work out.
Yeah, because I didn't think it was gonna work at first.
Yeah.
Most subject twos to me don't work.
Okay.
Yeah, most subject twos don't work, and they don't work because either the seller is too aggressive.
Okay.
She happened to be really easygoing.
Yeah.
You know, if the sellers still need control of the property, if they feel like they have to make sure I'm making the payments, that ain't gonna work. You know, or if they feel like their overall objective is for me to come in and save them for a temporary amount of time or take the house back, that ain't gonna work. Yeah. You know, or even if the rate is adjustable, or there's just so many different things. You know, it's either the loan terms or the seller. Okay. You know, and so, you know, you were just flowing, and I was like, oh, this is gonna work.
But because with that one, and then the other subject to deal that we did on Wendover, it's an easy conversation. I'm just Salon, what do you need? Okay, hey seller, this is what we need.
Right.
Right.
And
it's like it's simple. Either it work or it don't.
Exactly. So. Exactly. And I think it's okay. Okay. And I'm talking about this because a lot of times when I'm talking people through the same exact scenario that you just had, they think that I'm like misleading them on purpose or something. Like I'm telling them instructions to set them up for fail. Like it's not like a trust thing. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to get out of, like what that process looks like, because that's tough. That's because, like I said, the way I do it, there's no assignments. Okay. I don't do an assignment just because that's the way Brian Elam likes it. He doesn't like assignments on subject twos. Yeah. Okay. And so that's all I know. That's all I know. The first assignment that I ever did on a subject two, I got sued. Oh. And so that's when Brian stopped doing assignments on subject twos. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah.
So what's the proper way to assign it? I guess for me and the listeners.
Well, you don't. Okay. You don't assign it. Okay. You don't assign it. You take a referral fee. Okay. You take a referral fee or bird dog fee. Okay. And there's no best way other than letting the seller know that you're gonna bring in your business partner. So you find the seller, you guys come up with the terms, and you find your buyer, and then you facilitate the deal. Okay. You know, so you can, on the purchase agreement, you can put referral fee in the other term section. Okay. So you know how in the other terms for subject twos will say the seller agrees to leave mortgage in place. You know, right after that you can't put your referral fee. Yeah. You know, buyer agrees to pay referral fee. But some people don't like doing that because then the seller knows how much the referral fee is, and you can't really keep it secret. Okay. And then if you have an addendum made, since there's an addendum between the seller and the buyer, she'll still know what the fee is. Okay. So you either just have to, the seller has to be cool with your fee, or you just have to trust your buyer. You know, it ain't no You
No way
know,
around it. So,
yeah, it ain't no way around it.
Okay, so another question. So say I take over the property subject to, right? So I'm the buyer.
Right.
Now I want to sell.
The trust.
Yeah. So,
You want to sell the trust? You want to sell the house?
Well, it's a deal in favor I'm working on. Well, I'm probably going to take it over sub to.
Yep.
I know I'm going to want to sell everything.
Okay, yeah.
So-
So you can sell the trust just like you can sell a business because the trust is just an entity.
All right.
Okay, so let's say you take it down subject to yourself, and so you do whatever is required. So you bring money is actually in your trust name, and you close on it. You can sell the interest because there's a trustee and then there's a beneficiary.
Okay.
You can sell the beneficiary interest to your buyer for a fee.
Okay.
So essentially, there's no more title work that needs to be done or anything. It's just at the attorney writes up a HUD that says you're selling this company, this trust to this person for this amount. Okay. And so you have two options. You can stay the trustee and the beneficiary changes to them. So that way, if they stop making their payments, you as the trustee can come back in, interject, and make sure the payments are taken care of. So you don't get sued by the seller later because you're responsible because you did take it down.
Yeah.
You made that agreement to make sure the payments was going to get paid. Or you can sell the trustee interest as well.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that I've done it that way before. I've done it that way before where it's like there's $150,000 worth of equity in the house, but I can't refinance it because it's a subject to. And then also there were tenants in it and they were making it hard for me to sell. So Brian was like, yo, let's sell the trust. So I got 70 grand for the trust. Somebody just paid me 70 grand to take over the trust. And they get everything that I got. They don't have to do no new insurance because the insurance is in the trust name. The property's in the trust name. The new trust paperwork goes into their name.
Okay.
The power of attorney is in the trust name. So it just all goes directly to them.
Okay. So when buying a house subject to, always do a trust, I guess.
For sure. Always. Yeah, always. And so we do the trust mainly because of the bank.
Okay.
So like the escrow, the payment, insurance, taxes, interest, the mortgage is paying the taxes and the mortgage is paying the insurance. So if we put it in the trust name and the insurance agent sends over the new insurance policy to the bank, it says trust. And then the additional insured is the borrower.
Yeah. Okay.
So that way it looks like this person, they just set up an estate. They just set up an estate for this person because he may be dying or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it doesn't trigger the due on sale clause. That's typically the reason why we're putting subject twos in the trust.
Okay. And then even in the trust, say we want to just sell the whole house, we could do that as well, right?
Yeah, we can sell the whole house. So like with Quell Cove that you sold to me, I took it over subject to, and then I determined that oh shit, I can make 50 grand. So I just put it on the MLS. And then when it came time for closing, they said, hey, can you give me your trust docs to prove you're the owner? Gave them the trust docs. Technically, I didn't have to give them to them, but I gave them the trust docs to prove I was the owner. And I had limited power of attorney over the mortgage, so I just called and got a payoff and sold it.
Okay. And inside the trust, is it just you?
Well, there's a trustee and then there's a beneficiary.
Yeah.
So you choose. Sawan Belcher is typically the trustee, and then the beneficiary is one of my LLCs.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's how I typically set it up.
Yeah.
Now, so let's say you partner with somebody. So let's say me and you, we partner and we create our own LLC together. So I'm the money person, you the boots on the ground guy. Okay. And so we create, S&A endeavors, right?
Okay.
You could essentially make a fee by selling it to S&A endeavors, right? And you still own the property because you're the trustee, and then you sell it to your LLC, and you own the LLC as well.
Yeah.
And that's typically what I do. That's how I got the Quell Cove deal.
Yeah.
So my LLC that purchased it, my money partner gave me the money for your fee, and to do the couple things that we did to it, and I still got paid, and I still got to own the property.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that's how I suggest you set them up.
Yeah.
Instead of selling them to somebody else, you just sell them to yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
That's how I suggest you set them up. Yeah. And no, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Pay me for my coaching call. No problem.
Yeah,
We're good. But honestly, I wanted to have you on because you came to my office multiple times. Well, I know we've done coaching calls.
Multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times. You've done the mastermind multiple times. And so a lot of people will just do it one time. They'll get something out of it, and then that's it. And so, I wanted to know, like seriously, what, why keep signing up for them? For real. Why keep signing up for them? And how has it benefited you?
Yeah. Okay, so one of the mistakes I used to make when I first got into business was saying I'm the best.
Yeah.
And this, it's a good attitude to have.
For sure.
But for me, it kind of affected how I work, because I'm like, well, I'm the best, so I don't got to, you know what I mean?
Right.
But when I realized, okay, I'm not the best, but I have the potential to be the best.
Right.
It switched my thinking a little bit. So it's like, okay, to be the best, what do I have to do?
Right.
And that's probably learned from some of the people that's better.
That's better. Yeah, because I'm still not the best, but I'm definitely pretty good.
Yeah. So that was my thinking. It's like, this guy, he knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's doing. Let's learn. Let's keep learning.
That's dope. I love it. I appreciate that. Yeah. Have you made more money since you started? Because the first referral deal was $1,000.
Yeah.
And then it was $2,500.
Yeah.
And then now, what's your biggest deal that you've done now?
So I've been in it for 3 or 4 years now. And honestly, my biggest deal came this year.
Okay.
Which was the flip. That was $40,000.
Which was the flip. All right, let's talk about this. Okay, it's the last jump right here.
Okay.
So, because you were afraid, in my opinion, to buy a deal. Okay, you were afraid. I don't know why. Because every deal you would bring me, you would say, "Man, I really want to buy it myself, but I'm gonna do this." But here's the deal for you.
Yep.
And so I appreciate those deals. Mm-hmm. But what made you change your mind about the flip that you finally took down? The
mastermind.
Yeah, okay.
Honestly, because, talking to you and Jamel was just about going bigger, taking chances. So I'm like, while we was on the coaching call, I was walking the property, taking pictures to send out the buyers.
Yeah.
And y'all was just like, y'all put some pressure on me. I was like, Anthony, how many deals you own? I'm like, I don't own none yet. But it was just like, man, what am I waiting on?
Yeah.
It's like I have the resources to put stuff together. I've been in it for a while. I know I can do it.
Yeah.
It's just about doing it. So the encouragement and, just the pressure from y'all in the mastermind made me say, man, just go ahead and do it.
Let's go. What did it take to get ready? So, where'd you get the money from? And then, where'd you get the money from? And what were they looking for, the person who gave you the money?
So I went hard money on it.
You went hard money? Okay.
So from me, they needed bank statements and, stuff like that, tax returns and all that.
Okay. So they needed bank statements for how long?
Might have been 2 months.
Okay. So they needed 2 months bank statements.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted what else? Tax returns?
Tax returns.
How many?
Man, you know what? They might not have asked for tax returns because it was hard money. So for them, they just cared about the deal and making sure I got the money.
Did they make you do an appraisal? Pay for appraisal?
They did that. They ran their own numbers.
They ran their own numbers. Okay, good. Okay, so it sounded like they wasn't asking for a lot.
Nothing major, but they was asking for stuff I never heard of before. Like they wanted a good standing letter.
A good standing letter from who?
They sent me the website. I just went to the website. And,
yeah.
To be honest, that whole process, it was me not knowing anything and just figuring out as I went.
Yes.
As far as how to get the loan and even to get the money for the down payment.
Yeah.
It was just me using resources.
How'd you get the money for the down payment?
Credit cards, man.
Credit cards. That's what's up. Okay, so how do we get the cash off the credit cards?
I had got the loans or the credit cards a little while back. I got one credit card and then
all business or personal?
All business.
All business. Okay.
And then a line of credit as well.
Okay, nice.
And that came from having good credit.
Yeah.
So thank God for that.
Right.
But,
right.
Yeah. So I had a few credit cards and stuff out, and they told me what I needed. I went, got it off the credit card, took it to closing.
Okay, that's what's up. We're gonna deep into this. Okay.
Okay.
So how much was the property?
So I bought it for $58,000.
Okay. How much was the rehab?
We put 15 into it.
Put 15 grand into it. Oh, that's good. Was that more or less what you thought it was going to be?
That's what I thought it would be.
Okay, cool. So you put 15 grand into it, and when did the hard money guy said that they were going to cover the 15, or did you have to bring the 15?
So it was It was in draws.
It was in draws.
So they paid. They gave me the 15, but it's like I use my own money. Then they give it back, and I use my own money. They give it back.
Okay, so you use your own money to cover X amount of expense, and then you had to like take pictures, or did you have to give them receipts?
Yeah. So they would send out an inspector after I say, okay, bathroom 1 and 2 done, master bedroom done. They would send a guy out to take pictures. The guy would send them the pictures. Then they'd send me the money.
Okay, perfect. I like it. I just want people to understand.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long did it take you to get the? Did you have to pay monthly payments with the hard money?
So I did, but at closing they covered like 3 or 4 months. Like I paid 3 or 4 months in advance.
Nice.
So that helped out a lot.
Nice. Okay, I love it. So, how long did it take you to get the rehab done? Okay.
Yeah. So we bought it in October. We sold in February.
How much money you make?
40,000.
Made 40,000. Okay, that's a lot different than wholesaling.
Yeah. No, that was an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing for me is that I had no idea if it was gonna work.
Yeah.
Which might not be the best investment strategy, but I had no idea if it was gonna work, and I really didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
But I was just like.
I think that's okay. Because honestly, every deal, even now, I don't know if it's gonna work.
Yeah.
But having a certain level of faith to say I gotta make it work.
Yeah.
It's gonna work. It's gonna work. But every deal, literally, I just I look at sometimes I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna make it work.
No, that faith is everything.
Yeah.
That's not for real. That's what got me here.
That's
faith. Because without it, what you doing, man?
That's for
but
sure.
With that faith, you move with like a different type of energy.
That's for sure.
Like, man, whatever it is, we can handle it. We gonna get it done. We gonna solve the problem. So that faith is everything for me.
That's for sure. Now since then, since you did your first flip, have you bought another one or picked up a rental?
So we buying some land right now.
Okay,
so,
nice.
Yeah, but we haven't we wholesaled a few, but we haven't bought anything else.
Okay, cool. Real quick, and then this will be the last thing. The land. What are you doing with the land?
Gonna resell it.
Just like an assignment, or put it up on the MLS?
MLS.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Cool. So I'm starting to like land.
Okay.
I'm starting to like land because nobody does it.
Yeah.
And so if you can are you raising money or are you getting hard money?
It's cash.
Cash.
Yeah,
Okay. How much is the land?
10,000.
10,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So you're using your own cash.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Me and a partner.
You and a partner. And then what does the partnership look like?
We just gonna go on the deed together.
You're gonna his name, your name.
Yeah.
Or his company or your company.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. And both of you guys just put 50-50 in? Okay. Any operating agreement or anything recorded that says what your responsibilities are, or?
No. No, none of that.
No problem. And then so just as is, not doing nothing, just putting it back on the MLS.
Yeah.
When you guys said that you're gonna do the deal, what's the worst case scenario?
Worst case is you saying after we close? Or?
Yeah. Well, like when you were doing the numbers.
Okay.
What's worst case scenario?
Of course, it's if we're not able to sell it.
Then what?
I mean,
like,
then we had to clear the lot, and build on it ourselves.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But you guys had that conversation?
Yeah.
I love it. See, I love it. Hey, well, because with partnerships, I never had that conversation.
Okay.
Like when I got in, I don't know why, but that never hit me. And I had so much faith, it never hit me. Like, what if it went wrong?
Okay.
And but I like land deals just because they're the easiest wholesale deal that you can do. I mean, you take them down and just put them up, and you just wait. If it's a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, you just wait.
Now, do you think that's a good approach? Always asking yourself, what if it goes wrong?
For sure.
Yeah.
And I got that approach from one of my most recent best private money guys. He looks at every deal in the worst way possible.
Okay.
And that's literally how he determines if he's gonna lend on it or not. Because if he breaks even at the worst way possible, then he's cool with doing the deal. So if he don't make any money on the worst way possible, and he doesn't lose on the worst way possible, he's totally fine with doing the deal. And so I start looking at every deal like, what's the worst case scenario? And if it works, if I don't make any money and I don't lose at the worst case scenario, I'm doing a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's my new way of looking at it. I don't even look at how much profit I'm gonna make. I just look at the worst case scenario.
Now, do you do the flip side?
What's the best case?
Yeah.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I really don't. And that's just something I just adopted when working with Nick. I started working with Nick maybe, right at the events.
Okay.
Right at the events, that was my first deal that I did with Eastwood.
Yeah.
That was the first deal that I did with Nick. But every deal, I look at the worst case scenario.
Okay.
So if you had to look back at your last 3 years, of doing the business, okay, what are like the top 3 things that you tell somebody new right now, that you learned during that journey?
Yeah. Number one, which everybody probably say, is be consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, with being consistent in like what you're supposed to do and what you say you're gonna do, what separates you from a lot of people.
That's for sure.
Because when I think back, and I just think, man, if I would have did exactly what I said I was gonna do,
Yeah.
like nothing special, just what I said.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I'd be out of here. So yeah, be consistent.
Yeah.
Build a team.
Yes.
Building a team is extremely important. I'm kind of just getting into that. You
Yeah.
know? Like it's me. I got my VA. I got my guy Kais, and then I got my guy Will.
Nice.
So that's 4. But build a team.
Yes.
Because you can't do everything yourself.
Yes.
What's the quote? It's like, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
That's for sure.
I agree 100%.
That's for sure, man. I just remember I took you to California with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good time. Yeah, that was a good time. Yeah, that was a good time. And what's the last point?
Number 3, network. Yeah, I would say network.
Network.
Because man, it's great people everywhere, and just being able to lean on like coming to you for subject to, or going to an attorney to figure out how to structure a deal or something.
Or going to Phoenix, my all-in guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just networking, man. It's amazing people out here that know so much, and they know things you don't know. So network. And then I guess on top of everything, I know you said 3, but believe in God.
For sure.
Keep your faith up.
For sure. I mean, that trumps all of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that trumps all of them.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. You need big boy faith.
You
need big boy faith to do this business, and the bigger your goals are, the more faith you need. Mm-hmm. We're just taking down this 8 unit, man. And God is so good, bro. God is so good. And we had to extend the contract twice.
Okay.
And I personally believe we had to extend the contract twice. It's because I didn't have enough faith when I got it under contract.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I like that.
and seriously, because the way I normally do my deals, I get them under contract.
Yeah.
And then I go out and raise money for them. And I got it under contract, but instead of raising all of the purchase and the rehab, I kind of skimped out, and I went to a bank and I said, hey, I need you to finance this for me, versus doing my traditional way and having faith that I could raise $500,000.
Yeah.
And 2 days ago I had the faith for $500,000, and we're closing next week. So it's like, what is, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Big boy faith.
Big boy faith.
Yeah.
Well, heck, yo, thanks for taking the time. Mm-hmm. And you got a last point?
Nah, man, because I'm just thinking like, it's been 3 or 4 years, so a few things is popping up, but it's just like, go big.
Yeah.
I mean, know what you want, know why you doing what you're doing. I mean, yeah.
Just go big, man.
Go big.
Just go big. Like, $500,000 is easy.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. Get uncomfortable.
Get way uncomfortable.
Because
hold on. And what does uncomfortable mean to you?
Man, so at first I was thinking it was just like, doing the things you're scared of.
Yeah.
Right. So like, whether it's speaking in public or, having them uncomfortable conversations with a seller or with a buyer. Which it is, but then it's also getting uncomfortable could be like working longer than what you usually work. Right. You know what I mean? Or putting in extra hours,
right.
Or learning something you never learned before, getting around a crowd you never been around.
Agree. Yeah, if my wife isn't upset if she isn't upset at me, that if she's not complaining, saying, "Hey, Sawan, you're working too much," ain't working enough.
Yeah, and then I realized when I got uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I hope we don't go over, but when I got uncomfortable, that's when the biggest success came. Because when
Yeah.
I was the most uncomfortable was when I bought the house.
Yeah.
The townhouse, because I had no money. Like I had to go to credit. I'm doing Uber. I'm whatever I got.
Amen.
Whatever I
Amen.
gotta
Yeah.
do.
Amen.
But it had the biggest payoff.
You're right.
Biggest paycheck I ever got. And one more thing I want to add. Right?
You're good.
Is,
Yeah.
A lot of times we figure out how to figure things out when our back against the wall.
Right.
And it's usually like going backwards though. So like say you get behind on your rent and you're like, man, I gotta figure out how to do it, or I gotta feed my kids or whatever. Right. But it's when, our back against the wall. So now I'm like, with that thinking and knowing that I gotta get uncomfortable, now let's press forward with it. So like you say, let's raise $500,000.
Yeah.
It's like just pressing forward.
Yeah.
And getting uncomfortable.
So at this point, do you try to put yourself in uncomfortable situations? Okay, 100%. That's what you're getting to. Okay, 100%. Give me an example of a way that you recently tried to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation in order for you to perform.
Yeah. So this number one.
Yeah.
Interview. I don't. This
right.
But
right.
I'm gonna do it. So this it's a property in Fayetteville that we're gonna take down subject to.
Yeah.
All in. Let's do it.
All in. Yep.
Whatever is needed.
Yep. I love it.
So getting uncomfortable, man, is the cheat code that I just unlocked.
Yeah.
Like I'm just realizing, okay, that's where the growth is at.
That's for sure.
So that's what I'm
that's
doing
for sure,
now.
bro. I do it to myself all the time.
Yeah.
And it's something I'm so grateful for the car business because I honestly believe without the car business, it would be so much harder for me to be uncomfortable. Because we had so much stress at the car dealership, and I was willing to stay there for years under that stress. That now, under my own stress, it's just normal. Yeah. It's just normal to put yourself in a stressful situation financially, stressful situation risk wise, stressful. Saying I'm not leaving my office or getting up until I get a deal on the contract today. You know what I mean? That could be stressful, especially when it's like 9:00 at night and you still ain't got a deal, but you know you're not supposed to call at 9:00 at night, but you call until 10 and then boom at 10:03.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, yo, I just got off on my second shift job, and they want to talk to you, and you know what I'm saying, and you get a deal.
Yeah.
And so I think that's I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
That's a extremely good point, because I'm telling you, I personally try to make sure I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, and that's where the excitement at, man.
It is. It is.
That's where I thrive at.
Yeah.
Where it's like I don't know, but I gotta figure it out. It's go time.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. I love it, man. Well, look, tell the people how they can reach out to you if they got a deal, or if they want a JV, or if they just want to reach out and ask questions.
So I think right now the best way is probably through email. My email is Curtis, CURTIS, Way, WAY, props, PROPS, @gmail.com.
Coolio, and I'll put it out, and I'll put it in the description so they can reach out that way as well.
Okay.
And and I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate you coming through, man. Yes, sir. Yeah, you're a big part of my success, in my opinion. Because that house on Quail Cove, that was a staple deal for me. Okay. The house on Law Street, huge staple deal for me. You know what I mean? And then also the Wendover house too, because that was the first house. That was the first group home. So that was the first group home. So we got 3 group homes now. Okay. And so each deal, the Quail Cove house, just because I found Miss Elrita and she still works for me. Law Street. That house is just everything to me, honestly. I love Law Street. Okay. I absolutely love Law Street. Yeah. We're killing it.
Man, I'm glad to hear
We're killing it with that house. Yeah. And Brittany was trying to buy it. Brittany Cousins, she was trying to buy it like maybe a year and a half ago for like 90. Ooh. And I was like, nah, I'm not selling it for that. Yeah. And then recently, somebody else came up and said they'll pick it up for 160. Ooh. I know, right? Okay. I know. But the Airbnb, between the Airbnb and Adrian, because he's still there, you're bringing like $3,000 a month. Okay. Like net. I'm probably at like $2,100 a month. Net after all expenses. Yeah. So it's just like, That's just a a phenomenal deal for your boy. So I appreciate you. And but look, until then, remember, you don't need all three to do a deal: time, money, and knowledge. You just need two to do you. Have an amazing day. Peace.